as these very interesting boats are parked near a harbour on a lake in the middle of the desert. This can mean only one thing, boys. RockTown is almost ready for its first inhabitants. We spent the last couple of episodes right now pretty much designing how we want the area to be laid out. We've done a beautiful little kind of a road grid, and then from this, it's going to then start sprawling out into interesting neighborhoods. We've built the little river with the lake that is going to run through, and the lake does need to be extended continuously, but we'll do that as time goes on. I think we are officially ready to incorporate and move in the first residents, but we're initially going to have some traffic problems because the only entry point is this junction here, where the highway bends to the left and then swoops over as the main road begins. So we'll have to kind of create a couple of new highway junctions so we can have ease of access, which is going to be very, very, very interesting. And we are going to now plan out some zoning. So welcome back to another episode of RockTown here in City Skylines 2, where we're building this great region all based on the mining industry. We had our first town right now of Serrano. We got our second town of Miral. And now we are planning the actual city of the series, what this series is pretty much named after. And of course, that is RockTown itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very loosely build a grid, kind of, I won't say a grid, a district around this area, to which we are going to utilize as the official city borders of RockTown. Hold on. We'll have to adjust and play around with it as time goes on. And this is officially going to be named RockTown. So let me quickly just name it. RockTown. There we go, boys. We have the start of the city. Now, before we get people moved in and start doing some zoning, we need to do a lot of stuff to kind of get us all connected. We need to make sure power and water do reach over here. I think power does because power comes from the train line connection that we have. We just need to bring then water all the way in. So let's first take care of this situation. So what I'll do is I'll bring it down this long line which follows the highway. I'll bring it to there and then I'll just straight up connect it into there. So that will give us all the water abilities leading in. And then next, I'm going to set up the train line connections. Just solely so when we start doing zoning, we don't get overloaded with vehicles entering. At least they can maybe come via train network. So I've got to first figure out then how many spare spaces we have for our rail yard. We have an extra 4 trains we could maybe pump out. Unless we look at incorporating some extra train tracks, which for an extra 50,000 big ones might not be a bad idea. The only issue is they do eat in to there. Unless... Oh, have I turned it off? I didn't mean to turn you off. Unless we anarchy this, but I don't know if I'm able to anarchy. Let me turn anarchy on. And then put you down now. Right. That's not too bad. That gives us an extra 5. And then we'll bring the rail line slightly out. So we'll utilize you, bring you to about there. I'll run this going straight, and then we'll do a little bend there, and then we are literally almost perfection in getting ourselves then all set up. So a little bend in, connection directly in. I can then pump out a bunch of new trains. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, we are still waiting for the water to spread. It's a very slow progress, okay? It's a very slow progress, very slow process, but it is moving, as you can see. It's just going to take some time, okay? I know last episode I was very impatient, but we'll get there. We will get there. Now what I want to do is create my rail lines. Now, we actually only have one passenger rail line, which starts at the edge of this region here, going through Serrano, through Miral, and then exiting out. Now, I want to create 2 more, one that goes from there through Serrano, then into RockTown and then out. And another one that starts down here that goes through Miral, then into RockTown and out. So I've pretty much got a triangle run. So you can at least run from one city to the other based on whatever train line you get on. That's kind of what we are hoping. So let's get this all set up then. And I'm hoping it doesn't create too many kind of trains on these lines, but bringing you in. And then this is going to run all the way down to this station here. All the way down. Now, it is going to have to share the tracks with my cargo trains. But I don't expect there to be too many trains on these routes. I don't know if there'll be any more train routes after this, if I'm being honest with you. This is like the main runs right now. And then coming back into Serrano. There we go. And then drop you off. Now, that's my second one, and it's by default going to have 8 stops, and we're going to do the minimum amount of trains, which is 3. It's understandable that it has to be 3. It is quite a long distance. Same with this one next. So if I do another, it is passenger, right? Yeah. Do another passenger one. Now, this one's going through Miral. And then going through the 2 stops in RockTown. Uno, dos. Back out there and then back in again. So I'm trying to speed through this because I'm really excited about getting RockTown slowly starting to build it up. Where we can actually now incorporate a little bit of high density. Not too much, but we can do a little bit of it. So this by default wants to do 6. We can drop that down to 3 as well. So we're only pumping out an extra 6 trains from our rail yard, which is 100% enough. Very good. Now, as we start moving people in, we will see, I mean, I know we got a backlog here, but that's because a lot of trains are now coming out. We will have to sort out a proper junction here at some point. And over here as well. It's going to cause us a lot of traffic problems. So I just want you to know right now, guys, we are going to experience a lot of traffic problems once we start moving people into RockTown. I just need you all to know this right now. It's going to be dramatic. It really is. So let's start with then some zoning. Now, I do want to do some high density, but I don't want to go completely over the top. So what I might do is I might transition to high density after we've got in some medium density. So I'm going to start then with doing, like I said, some medium density to begin with. So I'll do medium density there and here. We'll do some here and here as well. And I'll do some there. And then we'll do some medium density commercial. Actually, I don't have medium density. It's either low or high. And we can't get high until we've actually progressed to the next milestone. So we'll kind of hold out for a little bit of that. We'll go back to some medium over here then. And then it's all Southwest style as well. And then we'll do some low rent housing. So we'll kind of like play around with some different kind of allocations for it. And there we go. I'm trying to save some spots here for like some commercial. And of course, we'll do some generic kind of low density residential. Kind of then like starting to be on the outskirts of the area. So it's a lot of residential I'm throwing down, which does mean one thing and one thing only. Huge population boost, which is terrifying, and huge traffic as well. Now, what's up with this building here? This building's got no road connection, so I'll just get rid of it. This is where we do start to get slightly a little bit nervous now at this point. We've got to do like a ton of like parking facilities, overpasses for pedestrians to get over the train lines. Access to the train station on the opposite side. There is so much we've got to throw in. So much right now we've got to throw in. But I think I might just casually just await problems and then fix problems as they arrive. So to get to my next milestone then, I am literally needing 101 more XP. Now, let me see if there's any signature buildings that could be beneficial. The Rock Musicians Mansion. See, these are really good now because I can now start to like utilize these. So if I drop the Rock Musicians Mansion, like for example, just here. I've now unlocked the Great Town, unlocked the Morrisseys, which is weird because that's like Morrison's in the UK. Northeastern Inn, Sunshine Hotel, another building. This is amazing. The Ice Flake Arena. Oh, we've actually got quite a few little bits and bobs right there. Right, before anything else then, we're going to do some high density commercial right now. So I'm going to do a nice big pocket here. This is like the downtowny vibed areas. And then we'll do some southwest zoning, like a little bit further up here. And I'll do some just there as well. So a couple of little pockets of commercial. And it's now going to slowly build it all itself up. Now, this will skyrocket my unemployment because I feel like I'm going to get way too many residential for the commercial jobs that I've just placed in. But let's take a look at more of these signature buildings then. So nothing there for you. We've got the Ice Flake Arena. I want to save all these big buildings. But I do want to get like the supermarket in. I think that's going to be a good shout. So the supermarket, where would be the best location for you? There's got to be a good spot along here somewhere. I think here might not be a bad shout just here. There we go. Nice big supermarket, which will be surrounded by a bunch of residential stuff eventually anyway. Definitely some petrol stations. We want to go for the large ones. So I'm going to build one just there as they're currently exiting in and out. Now, while we wait for a lot of this stuff to kind of like zone and build in, let's figure out where some of the roads are going to flow to where we would eventually have highway connections. So I'm looking at roads that do like mass flowing. Like this one here is perfect. And I think rather than going straight, it should kind of bend so we get like a more of a straight on approach. Now, would I do another set of 224s first? If I was... Right. I could do it to there. And then another 224 would be here. But then we're getting a little bit too far away. So I'm thinking that's where we then call it a day. And we look towards doing a connection here. So right now, it'll just be a 90 degree until we build like a proper system. So run you in like that. We have another highway connection there. Now, where else would be another good one? So somewhere here wouldn't be too bad, but I'm going to leave that for there. I might actually make this flow down by another 224. Right, another 224, which will be not in that alignment, is it? Hold on. Let me get rid of you because you are casting a bad judgment for me. 224. And then run you up 224. Back in 224. Right, there we go. They all grid nice. I reckon there's one more I can maybe get in. And then we're going to look towards then setting up. Now, they're going to be a random connection. But I'll do it like that. Bring you out. And then we'll bendy-wendy you in. Hold on. There we go. So we've got 2 additional connections now. One of them actually is a complete fly-through road, so that will give us a little bit of breathing space to not cause... To be honest with you, there is not that many issues. I don't know whether the fact that they're all arriving via train is what's kind of helping me out. I'm not too sure. Now, we'll definitely do one here on this road, which I can't see this coming out by another 224. No. So if I picked, for example, just here. No, we'll push it back a bit. We'll bring it to there. Go to there, and then we'll bend you in. So the bend is very minor. But it gives us another little solid connection. I'd rather have like 90-degree turns on because we can create like better junctions. So as of now, that ain't too shabby. And I think I'm then going to do one here. So bring you out a little bit. And then pull you up. And then bend you in. Like that. So a couple little connections. That will obviously fly right around as well. Probably lead to something over there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connections to get in from the highway, which should be somewhat beneficial. Somewhat beneficial at this point. Now, RockTown already has a population of 2,700, and it's still continually growing. It does want me to place down some more zoning, so we might then change it up with some southwest style housing. So throw in some there. We'll then come down here with some southwest style housing. A lot of this stuff we'll eventually like reevaluate it and then like come back and then change up like what it is and whatnot. But drop a bunch of residential demand then down and see if we can progress ourselves to having a population of 10,000 in the whole region whatsoever. So we do have some problems with the buildings. I don't know why it's choosing to go down that route with that style of building. These are all complaining about no road access. So get rid of all of those. Very good. And then while we wait, what other style of signature building could we throw down? So we can now do some more petrol stations, by the way, because all of a sudden we have visibility, and it's all going to kind of be on the roads that lead out, which I think is pretty handy. There we go. All petrol stations leading out to the highway, kind of. That should work out really well for us then. So no other commercials just yet. Oh, we could do the bookstore now, finally. So I could squeeze you in. Just drop you there. We'll need to do quite a bit of parking, and we're going to need to get all of our utilities and services in for this area. So let's start then with a medical facility. Now we've got 2.5 million, so we can, oh, we got the art supply store. We can now think about starting to spend some of our development points. Oh, wrong, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. So development points, we'll start with medical, and then we'll go for a hospital. And we'll also unlock the cremation as well. So let's get both of those. We'll go for a decent size hospital. So we'll do a... Do you want to go with like the generic hospital? This is going to be pretty big. And do you reckon it's like a good idea to have the hospital overlooking the waterfront? That could be pretty nice. It could be pretty nice. What other variations we've got right now? We've got the EE hospital. Okay, a little bit too big for my liking. The French hospital, bit funky. China hospital is too big. The Japan hospital, meh. So what's the difference in capacity? I think we might just stick to like the generic one. I think that's probably the best option. So in terms of placing it, where would we do it? Somewhere like here is not too bad. Somewhere like there is actually not too bad. Like if I dropped it down, I know it's going to cause us some problems with the landscaping, but we can just fine tune that now. So down the brush size. And then kind of make it feel like it runs. like this. And then you wouldn't know any difference. You wouldn't know any different right now. That is quite a decent building. We've actually spent a lot of money. I didn't realize how much we spent there. 1.8 million. Now, we do have the money coming in, which is okay. So let's take a little bit of a look at some death care right now. So I could do a cemetery, but we also have cremation now available. So cremation is also available now. I could do a UK church, but them cemeteries, we've got to go for cremation, right? I think so. So where would be like a good point for people to do cremations? Somewhere around here is actually probably not too bad. It's like a little bit out of the way. And we can kind of like slightly expand upon it. So let me just drop you down here. Because there is the ability to add in a few extra bits and bobs. So if I added one of these down either side. And then reposition the building. That works out. We can do an additional, we can now start to expand that a bit more as well. So we've got medical care and death care now all thrown in, which they will use it for the wider region. So this is not too bad. This is not too bad right now. We are... Okay, so the south... Are these the normal ones or these are the southwest style? The southwest style residential doesn't fill up the whole squares. That's interesting to know. That is interesting to know. So you might have to play around with like some different styles. What about if I kind of dropped in like normal density zoning? But it's stuff you have to play around with. I don't think this is the right zoning there for a lot of these type of buildings. We might need some like just normal generic medium density. Now, I'll be honest with you, traffic has not been too bad. Is that because the traffic is being held up at this point? Yes. Yes, it is. But we always knew that was going to be a problem. We always knew that was going to be a problem. So RockTown is now slowly coming together. Okay, it's slowly coming together. Next, I want to look at policing. And a city police station. Is that going to be big enough for what I want? I think it might be. I think it might be. And I might do this here. So it's like in between the two areas. So that's going to cost me 220,000. City police station. 16 patrol cars. I think we'll be okay with that. And then for fire, I want like a city fire station house or city firehouse. Which I can put, I'm going to put it just here. So them two are together. And it's in between like the two major areas of RockTown. So that works out very well. Right. Do I try and solve these problems now? It's going to cause us big problemos. The issue is the train tracks crossing over. That's what completely stops us. I'm going to save it. Because obviously, I want to see what happens when we initially get rid of the backlog. So I'm going to save it for the most part now. I am realizing the southwest style of housing is probably not my best option to go with. So I might just now get rid of the southwest housing. Right, I'm going to get rid of it all. And replace it with normal housing. And I'm kind of thinking the same for the... medium density. I didn't realize we're going to have so many problems. So let's just get rid of them for now, and then we'll get them all back in once they've all been deleted. Right. We do need to take a look at so much stuff, by the way. We've done the fire, we've done the police, we've done medical. We don't have any industry areas around here, but we've got to place them kind of like on this side, because that's where the wind blows. So we'll do industry and we'll do like some form of garbage over there eventually. Now, We've got to do mail services, of course. Telecoms at some point. There's a lot of stuff we've got to do. But I think what we do first is focus on the getting people in, and then we'll fix things after. So residential all thrown in. Bam, 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 bam. Bam. This is all low density residential, by the way. There we go. And then we'll just replace it with higher density as time goes on. That's what we'll do. So this is slowly coming together right now. It is slowly coming together. We are going to need to take a look at adding stuff. Like we could add the station services in. We could add some ticketing machines as well to speed up processes. We'll do it on both of them. We'll do it on both. Bam, bam. What's my revenue income like? It's really good right now. So we can afford to spend some money. We need to do some overpasses. That's going to be very, very vital for us. So let's kind of play around with this one first with some overpasses. So we'll end up creating our own. And we'll do it by a 5. So we will start... Where's the best bet for this? So I could kind of do it here. So where we then drop down to a 0 there. And do the same there. Just to allow us to have a proper connection in and in. Oh, the Film Actors Mansion. Nice. Now that was a distance of... It's going to be about 32. No, it feels a bit further than that, doesn't it? We'll drop you to there. Just to kind of make that overpass a bit more juicier. So you can already see now people are starting to use it. And it will get them from this side to that side relatively quite easy. Which will be super handy for us. Now, it'd be nice to also squeeze one in on this side. And we do have this kind of like fake version of an overpass. But it's okay. It's okay. Let's all be honest right now. It's okay. I'm creating my own. Now, do I take it all the way down to there? Could be a possibility. And we've created our very own mega crossing. Our very own mega crossing, boys. Which, look at the amount of people now using it. Fantastic news. We've now got 12,000 people living in the region, which is great to see. So we've got to keep our eyes peeled on how this is going down. Right, very busy station. And I'm going to apply the same logic now to this one. Because it worked out really well, that did. I'm actually quite impressed with how great that felt and seemed. Right, we'll go here to there. And then this one, we'll do there to there. And then we'll drop this one down. In. Right, this one's slightly differently spaced. But does the same job either way. Oh, did that one create a crossing on that road? I don't think it did. Did it? It did not. Let me delete and then put you back in. There we go. Right. Little crossovers, making the walkability absolutely amazing when we continue to start extending and expanding. So RockTown right now is 6,000 population. So that should be by default now the biggest town in the game, which it is. It actually is. This is a mess, but I want to save this until I actually build a proper junction. So I don't really want to mess around with it too much. Worst case scenario, they can just hop on the train and get from point A to point B a lot easier. And that will save a lot of heartache and headache. So don't come at me right now for that. Has unemployment risen, or are we kind of maintaining it? It has definitely risen. We could do with some schools. That would be important. So what is education like? We only have elementary schools. Of course we do. So we could do UK suburban elementary. What other variations of elementary got first? There's EE elementary, there's city elementary, primary. That one has 1,000 capacity, so you can't ignore that one really, can you? I'm going to drop you down there. Is there any upgrades to it? There is upgrades to give us an extra 50 student capacity. An extra 500 student capacity, which then gives us 1,550, which is such a weird number. So we'll just start with the elementary primary school education first. And then we'll go from there. Right, highway's looking busy. They're using the additional road connections, which is very vital important. Very vital, very important. This is now coming together. Are they using this? They actually are. They actually are. Maybe we should have thought about upgrading it to like a bike path. Whoa, what happened here? Alright, pause for a second. That one's funky. I've no idea what happened on that one, but now it's fixed. You can all rest easy. I've now fixed it, boys. I've now ultimately fixed it. Right. Let's see what else we could potentially squeeze in, because we've now got the film actors mansion. So I'm going to put that right next door. We've got some different styles on the go. Not looking too bad. We're starting to add a little bit more greenery to the desert. And what else did we unlock as well? There was like another commercial one, right? There was the art supply store. Of course there was. Where's that gone now? All right, art supply store. We'll get you in just there. And let's do some car parks as well. So we want to go pretty decent in size. So something like this is probably a good idea. Having like a decent car park near the train stations, I think, is vital. And, ooh, I don't have enough money to build a second one. Right, we'll just go with that one to begin with. We'll just go with that one to begin with. Now, let me get that medium density in. Delete all these buildings. And have them go crazy. Oh, I unlocked something there. I pressed escape at the same time. What was it? The Polaris Suites. Okay, now we are getting to some bigger residential facilities. Which, would that fit in, like, all here? It does. All right, now we're getting some structure. And I'm liking it. I'm liking it quite a bit. There's no car access. I think there's still a rogue building there in the way. First car parking facility now down. We'll see how the rest of this all now goes. I really want to get rid of these southwest buildings now. I'm not liking the gaps that it's leaving. But we'll slowly progress and change them over time. Right. This ain't too bad now, okay? This is not too bad. I'm gonna do a couple of extensions. So a 224. We're gonna try and do a little bit more of a grid format now. I want to kind of build as far as I'm willing to go with these grids before they all then start sprawling. So I don't know whether that's going to be the end of that one. But let me continue you. Let me bring you up Like, I've got to figure out at what point do I end the grid. So I think probably there is as far as I would want it to ultimately go. Now, in this direction, 224, 224, 224, back down again, 224, and I'd probably say that's it for this one. Alright, I think there was a bit of an issue here. There we go, trying to keep it all the same. Right, we'll go to there with that. And then this side's relatively going to be quite easy. Or not. Right, what's going on? Because there's not a change in... Huh? Right, if I delete that road... It's weird how some things work and then don't work. Just city skyline things. That one's okay. That one's not okay. I can already tell. So let me delete this. 224. How is it messing up? I don't get how it's messing up. Right, delete you and then push you back out from here. And see, it's now okay. I will never know. I will never know. So, moving those grids out a bit more, I reckon there is room here for one more grid. So, a 224. What is going on here with these roads? Right, that's as far as I want it to go in that direction. We'll keep that as it is here. 224. Don't do this to me again. Right, get rid. Right, pause. Tis going on here now. Right. Magical. Oh, right. I'm stressing out now. Is it because I've got Anarchy on? Surely not, right? Alright, get rid, get rid, get rid. Why is that a 225? And that's a 223. Right, do you know what? We're not having one there. I lied. I lied. 224. Something is not right on this section. And I can't quite pin it down. Do you know what? Just forget it. I'm not even going to do one there. I'm not even going to do one there. Okay, so that works out well then. This is all going to start sprawling off as well. So I'm going to do this last little bit here. Providing this goes to plan. Please go to plan. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm going to do a 224. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. But I think I'm going to get rid of this one, though. And I'll end it with a 224 here. And then that's my grids. That's my grids. That's my squares. And then after the edges of all of those areas, we just then typically start sprawling it. Oh, there is this bit here, though. There is this bit here. I might save that in case I decide to do like a mega project there or something like that. But that's where I want it to kind of go and where I want it to kind of low-key work. There is a problem here with something. There is no car access. Let me redo it. Right, that has now fixed it. That's now fixed it. How many cars are parked in there? 57 at the minute. We're going to start sorting all this area right now. So if I redesignate you, you, and you with my medium density. Same with you, and you. Because I'm not happy with the southwest giving the big gap in the middle. So this is going to create a lot of homelessness and population issues all over again. But let me just get this out of the way now. I didn't realise. I completely forgot that Southwest are not long buildings. They can be wide, but they are also historically not long. And that's no good for building the inner city part. They're good for doing the outskirts of medium density, but not the inner city part that we're trying to accomplish. Right, that's just killed off a huge amount of population. You ready? Bam. Right, they'll get themselves all back in now. There's no stress, no worries. No stress, no worries. Right, fantastic news for me. This is still detrimental, by the way. How far's the water anyway? Oh, the water's down to here now. Oh, we're now a small city. Nice. Oh, new building. Oh, it's lots of tall skyscraper buildings as well, which is fantastic news. Right, this is starting to spread a bit more now. So I think that overloaded water flow that I did ages ago is now starting to move a bit. But like I said, it will eventually meet in the middle. I'm not too worried at the moment about it all. Right, okay, so now we've got the far as I want the stuff to go. We're going to sort out the pedestrianized streets next. So let's take a quick look at these and run them through this part to where I can drop in some more low-density residential. Now, just going to keep it normal. Just going to keep it normal for the most part. It might then provide more shoppers for this commercial here. We don't have any commercial demand. We've got some apartment buildings. But we are going to be scratching and knocking on the door of doing industry. And I think I might save the industry for next episode. That's what we'll end up doing. So RockTown right now has a population of 10,000 people. Oh my goodness me, I didn't realize we've squeezed in that many people already. So I think we'll slow down now on the population growth because we've added in so many more people right now. We've tripled the population size of the region. And with that, we're going to need to solve a bunch of problems before we can add any more. Especially that junction over there. That is going to be an interesting one. Now, I've kind of got a rough idea of what I'm going to do. But if any of you guys want to take a screenshot right now, and then maybe send me an image in my Discord or something, link for it in the description, of how you would approach this junction with the train line. What would you elevate? Would you elevate the road or the train line? What lanes would you do here? Would you create a nice kind of free-flowing junction, or would you just drop a roundabout down and hope for the best? What would you kind of go with? There's many ways we can do it, but this is the important thing, though. I want it to be themed for the area, so doing a big interchange might not best fit the, vicinity. But I don't know. It could be interesting. Now, what I would also want to do next is do a kind of like another bypassing road to get from RockTown to Mirror. And also do something very similar where we've got like another bypassing longer road from RockTown to Serrano. Like how we had the one that goes to Derby Creek. It's like the original road was there before they built the highway. And I kind of want to do something similar here, which will probably mean me utilizing this road here coming up, but then kind of turning it off, maybe splitting this area. So we're giving them an alternative option. So when there is traffic, the AI, vehicles can figure out there is an alternative route to kind of travel in and get to their destinations a little bit quicker. But I'm not going to fix that just yet anyway. We're going to save that. We are going to save it. Right, more residential being thrown in, which is good to see. This is now starting to get customers because there's more people around to do shopping there, which is great. It's great, mate. It's great. And what is the new stuff we've just unlocked? So we've unlocked some mixed density stuff, which I'm not going to squeeze any of that in just yet. No siree. A bunch of tall buildings. We can kind of hold out for that. But, yeah. We've unlocked new offices zoning, which is great. Mixed zoning is also a good one as well. But we don't really have any commercial for that, but let me just... Okay, we are going to spend it straight away. I'm going to drop in some there and see what happens. Now, you got some people now walking the pier to view some of the interesting points of interest. They're also doing some fishing, by the way. Look at the amount of people fishing. It's quite a few, isn't it? It is quite a few. I feel like we should do like another pier system elsewhere so they can fish in other parts. Maybe along the old river. Lots of people walking still. So we know it's working, the walkability. The overpasses from my train station are very, very busy. So that allows people to get on and off the trains and utilize trains very well. Surely right now, public transit is looking really good for trains. So 35,000 people a month are using my train network. That's how important that is. Now, I don't think it's going to be making me any money. But just out of curiosity, we're making 80 grand in transport fees. That's pretty good, if you ask me. It is pretty good. We have a bit of a train jam right now. Is what it is. Is what it is. I don't know why that switched over. I have no idea why it did that. But, it is what it is. Now, do we look towards doing alternative routes for cargo trains? Maybe the rail continues and it kind of bypasses around and we kind of like sort out a waypoint for it. So cargo can completely bypass RockTown. Could be a potential possibility. We've got many, many ideas on what we could eventually get set up. But I'm liking how this is now gone. This is the start of something big. And we'll slowly tackle every problem, every challenge, every issue as the episodes tick by. So far, RockTown ain't too shabby. Let's focus on fixing all the issues. And then once all the issues are fixed, we'll then go back to extending it. Anyway, boys, the water is now up to this point. Right? We're definitely getting somewhere now. It won't be too long until they are connected. I reckon another 6 episodes. And joking, right? Well, you never know, actually. You never know. As it starts to get down here, more windy and twisty, it might take a little bit longer. Anyway, lots of problems now to fix, but also lots of people have now moved in. We have quadrupled the population. 12,000 people live here. We're knocking on 20,000 residents in the region in general. This is going to be a big one, boys. Unemployment right now, what is that like? That is at 10%. Not too shabby, if you ask me. If you ask me. That school is not looking too bad, so we're okay. We're going to need a secondary form of transit within the RockTown city so we can get people from the stations to the surrounding areas. We'll start with buses to begin with and see how we get on with that. Shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too bad. And then we'll look towards building some industrial facilities. Guys, hope you enjoyed this right now. This is really, really exciting for the series as RockTown is now starting to have a little bit of steroids injected into it. And we've got some traffic problems, which we're hopefully going to solve as well. So, until next time, I will see you all soon. So, goodbye.